made me feel at home already. I appreciate that. Can we give a big, warm TED Talk thank you to all the people who went before me, who are coming after, and to all the people who put this on. Can you go ahead and put your hands together for them? Come on, you can get a little louder than that. A little louder. There you go. There you go. I appreciate that, and I know they do too. Okay, here's what I'd like for you to do. Let's try something. Go ahead and sit up in your chair. Get in your chair, sitting in real tall and proud. There we go. Okay, and here's what I'd like you to do. I want you to breathe in real deep and then let out a nice sigh. Here we go. Breathe in. Let it out. Oh, yeah. Okay, now what I'd like you to do next is you're going to breathe in, and when you let out that breath this time, I want you to do it, I want you to breathe out in a really goofy way. Like I want you to be super exaggerated, like you're trying to make me laugh and mess up. Okay, you think you can do that? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Ready? Breathe in. And get goofy. Breathe out. There you go. Okay, this time we're going to breathe in and breathe out in a really peaceful way. Okay, breathe in. Breathe out really peaceful. There you go. Okay, I'm going to invite you, please close your eyes. And tell me how many fingers I'm holding. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, please close your eyes. And I want you to think of a time in your life where you felt proud. A time in your life where you felt proud about something. I know for me, I'm thinking of in first grade during our winter play, I was the New Year's baby. Okay, next one I want you to think of, when was a time in your life where you felt grateful for something? Where you felt a sense of gratitude? Could have been something you saw in nature, or maybe a vacation you went on. Okay, next, I want you to think of, when was a time where you laughed out loud? Maybe it was with friends or family, or a movie you saw, or a TV show, a comedian. I'm thinking of something I saw in Guardians of the Galaxy last week. Okay, next, I want you to think of, when was a time with friends or family where you had a really good time? A time with friends or family, we had a good time. I'm thinking of Thanksgiving, it was at my sister's house, my family was there, it was super awesome. Okay, last one. I want you to think of, when was a time where you set a goal, and no matter what got in your way, you pushed through and you successfully completed your goal? Think of one thing. Maybe it's you got your driver's license, passed a test. I'm thinking of the first time I successfully tied my shoes. Loop, swoop, and pull. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to finish by, I want you to think of one word you want to take with you. One word that's positive, that has motivation in it. For instance, words like joy, happiness, creativity, laughter. Pick one word that you want to bring with you. My word's going to be joy. And what we're going to do is on the count of 1, 2, 3, you're going to yell your word out loud. You're going to yell it so loud that the band out here, the tuba player, is going to miss a note. Because you yelled it so loud, you'll be like, what was that? I want to go in there. Are you with me? Are the directions make sense? Yes. Okay. I only have one hand, so I'm going to need your help. Can you please start a drum roll on your lap? Drum roll. 1, think of your word. 2, get ready to yell it. 3, let them have it. Yell your word. Yes. Can you give yourselves a big round of applause, please? That is what I'm talking about. Woo! Okay. So, how do you feel right now?
Happy.
Happy, good. I'm seeing lots of smiles. Oh man. So the thing is, in 3 minutes, we were able to shift our energy from a place of kind of passive to getting involved, to feeling up, feeling happy. We were able to do that in 3 minutes. And this is something you can do every single day in your life if you make the commitment. You see, those of us here, the kind of people who go to a TEDx talk, we're leaders, activists, people who want to make a difference. And we need to make sure that not only are we trying to create the world a better place out here, but that we're also taking care of ourselves inside through a self-care practice. Imagine that inside you have this flame, and that flame, however bright it is, attracts people to you. And you can use that energy to inspire them to make a difference. What do you think starts to happen if you get burnt out? Or you start to get jaded, or you start feeling like nothing will ever change? that light, it starts to diminish, and so too does your ability to influence people towards making a difference in the world. So we got to make sure that y'all are taking care of yourselves. Does that sound good?
Good.
That's what I'm talking about. Y'all are friendly folks out there. So the way I'm going to suggest it's a real simple practice. It's that I'm proposing every single day before you go to sleep, you think of 3 things that you are grateful for. 3 things. How many things?
3.
3 things that you are grateful for. So I'm going to break this down as I'm going to share with you 3 reasons why, and I'm going to show you 3 ways you can. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
If y'all are ready for me to get started, let me say yeah.
Yeah.
If you're really ready, let me hear you say, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we are doing good. First reason you should consider saying 3 things you're grateful for every day is that it's fun. Yeah, you dig it?
Yeah.
Nice and simple, to the point. How many people had fun during that exercise where I had you think of some things you were grateful for? Was that fun? Yeah! See? Simple, to the point, you already know it, I can move on. The next thing, number 2, is that gratitudes let you write your own story. Rather than external events or other people, you get to decide what does your life mean. Has anybody ever heard the word authentic before? Yeah, it's a played out word, that's what they tell me. Okay, I feel you, but let me just tell you, authentic in its Latin origin, it actually shares the same root word as author. It was the hardships we went through, or the Islamophobia, or all those stories that they tell. If that's all that was recorded, you would miss so much. I'm telling you, Muslims, we have some amazing jokes. We are hilarious. Okay, we have great food. You'd miss the inside jokes. There's people I know who have nothing, but they would give you every single thing they have. We stay up till 2 in the morning praying during Ramadan. It's amazing. You would miss all that awesomeness if all that was recorded was the hardships we went to. You should know those as well, but you should know what we're grateful for. And you too have that story. So imagine all of us here, millions of people around the world, recording what we are grateful for, the authentic story that would be written. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Number 3, gratitudes are a pathway to freedom. Now for me, I look outside of myself for what is freedom. I look to people who have been through it all and came back and said, I still want to make a difference in the world. People like Harriet Tubman or Nelson Mandela. Here's a great example. The Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu. These are 2 people who have experienced oppression and challenges on a systemic level. The Dalai Lama was exiled from his homeland his entire life. And rather than becoming jaded or bitter or wanting revenge through violence, do you want to know what book they just wrote? You want to know what it's called?
What?
It's called the Book of Joy. Right? After all that, they're like, you know what I gotta say? Be happy. I'm like, what? That is crazy. To me, that is freedom. That no matter what happens outside, there is not a single person, there is no government, there is no external event that can take away my internal joy and my desire to make the world a better place. Y'all feel me on that?
Yeah.
Yes. That is why gratitudes, thinking of them every single day, they train your mind to always find something that you can lean into for inspiration and joy. So, what do you think? Do gratitudes sound pretty cool so far? Yes, I figured that. Thank you. So, I'm going to share with you, when you're starting to think of what you're grateful for, sometimes we have those days where it just doesn't feel like there's anything to be grateful for. Have you ever been there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to help you on those days, give you 3 things you can lean into to think of what am I grateful for. The first one are called hidden in plain sight. These are the gratitudes where you and I, we are around extraordinary things every single day. But there's this thing called the law of familiarity. And the law of familiarity means that when you're around something that's extraordinary, all the time, if you don't stop and pause and recognize it, it starts to become ordinary, right? Let me give you an example. If you could, please, until I say stop, please don't blink. Starting now, do not blink. Okay, I see you, don't blink. Don't blink, okay? Okay, how does this feel? Is not blinking, does it feel good?
No.
It was terrible. Okay, you can start blinking again. I proved my point. Anytime you're having a tough day, be grateful you can blink. Okay, because blinking is amazing. Not blinking truly stinks. So many other things like that. We live in a place where the weather, people vacation here. We're like, what, it's LA, it doesn't rain, you know? So there's so many things around you that you can be grateful for. For instance, that you can dance really cool like me, you know? So I want you to think of one thing that you are grateful for that you're kind of, you know, taking for granted. Think of one thing. Your ability to breathe, that we have an ozone layer. Okay, you ready for the next one?
Yes.
This one's called coincidences. Anybody ever heard of this word, coincidences?
Yes.
These are a great gratitude to recognize. Coincidences are these amazing moments in our day where something greater than ourselves, some mystery that we can't prove, is sending some sort of communication to us and telling us, pay attention. Now, in my early 20s, I had a mentor. His name was Lloyd. And he used to see the entire world as coincidences. Everywhere we'd walk, he'd point out little messages that he felt God was sending him. And one day he was like, Tom, I have an idea. Give me a piece of paper. And so in my pocket, I had this poem I'd written. It was called A Joyful Journey, but I'd sign it as anonymous. And then I'd print off a bunch of copies and just hand them out at random places, spreading joy. Okay? And so I gave him that piece of paper. He wrote his idea, he put it in his pocket. We moved on with our day. Well, later that summer, I got a phone call and found out that my mentor, Lloyd, he had passed on. And so I was at his going home celebration, his funeral, and the pastor said his granddaughter would like to come up and say a few words. And so she came up, and you could just tell that it took everything in her she had to speak, all the courage, but she wanted to do it. So she got up and she said, I would like to share a poem with you that reminds me of my grandpa. It's called A Joyful Journey by Anonymous. I thought, that sounds familiar. She started reading the first line, second line, and by the third line, I had tears running down my face. Just like right now, I had goosebumps going all up my arms, and I realized, wow, even in the afterlife, my mentor is reminding me, pay attention, because there's messages happening every single day letting you know that you matter. You should be grateful. And if every single day you look for even the smallest coincidence that prepares you to be ready to receive the enormous ones that are miracles. And that leads me to my third one, which are magic moments. Inside every single second of the day, there is magic. Do you believe it?
Yes.
Yes. And all we gotta do is stop and recognize the magic. It can be big things like that one I just shared, or small things. For instance, the other day I was at work, and I noticed how the sunshine was just coming in so amazing. And I was reading this book that was just awesome. You ever read a book that had you like that? And I was eating a meal that I somehow made, and it tasted good. Wow. Okay? And I realized, you know what? When I'm done with this lunch break, I'm going back to a job I love. And I just stopped, and I soaked in that magic, and I was just grateful. And so all of us, if we get used to it, if you train your mind to see the magic, it'll show up in extraordinary ways. And so, my friends, I hope I've inspired you to give this a shot. Every single day, think of 3 things that you are grateful for. And, you know, what's really helpful is to get them outside of your mind. So, you know, write them down on a sheet of paper, or go for a walk and say them out loud and don't really care if people are looking at you funny. Or if you can, find a friend and say to them, hey, there's this like crazy guy, his name's Tom. Yeah, you heard of him? Okay, cool. He said we should trade our gratitudes. You want to give it a shot? And you know what? It's a lot of fun. Me and one of my sisters, once a month, we share our gratitudes. I have a friend, we share them every single day, so whatever you'd like. But if you don't have a friend that you can share your gratitudes with, I'd love to be that friend. So every day I post on social media one thing I'm grateful for, and folks from all over the world, they respond, and we have this great exchange. So if you'd like to be a part of that, you can connect with me at Tom Earl Artist, or my name, tomearl.com. We can get connected like that. So I'd like to leave you with a story. I was walking into work one day, and I noticed how one of my coworkers, she was just shining. She had that glide in her stride, that pep in her step. You ever seen someone like this that was just like, you're like, you have to stop and say, what is going on? Because I want some of that. So I said to her, Gloria, what is going on? You are shining. And she said to me, Tom, 70 years ago today, on this very morning, I was liberated from a Nazi concentration camp. And I just have to say that I am grateful. My friends, every single one of us in here, we can find something to be grateful for. And the wonderful thing is, the more you let gratitude in your heart, the more you start to see it all around you. And so I hope you know that tonight, when I write down my 3 gratitudes, right at the top of the list is going to be this time we got to spend together, because I am grateful. So thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it.